Howdy, y'all.
Hi, guys.
It's Ryan.
And Angel.
From RNA Music, deep in the heart of Texas.
I was going to say, I didn't know you had a... I couldn't see it. I don't have my
I
glasses
don't.
on. I can't see
Stephen F. Austin State University, deep in the heart of Texas. We're not from Stephen F. I mean, I did go to Stephen F. Austin.
Yes, we know.
RNA Music, your favorite mom and pop guitar shop and music lesson education studio, deep in the heart of Texas.
Tejas.
Where we at right now.
Yes.
And it's the day after Thanksgiving. Tum-tums are full.
Yes.
And it's time to ask questions. It's Black Friday. Oh, man. Night. Okay. Let's get to some questions.
Woohoo.
That's what you're here for.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to 281.
Yes.
Episode 281 of Ask Ryan and Angela, where we're going to answer your questions from people all over the world. If you're new here, we own a little guitar shop and music lesson studio in rural East Texas, where we keep the music alive
for the next generation.
for the next generations.
That's right.
Teaching music. I was just teaching.
We're trying to.
I was just teaching some Van Halen just a few minutes ago.
know.
So exciting. Until my EVH amp died, which was not exciting.
Which is sad.
Yeah. And today we're going to do our little FAQ thing that we've been doing for several years now.
Yeah.
We're going to answer questions from all over the world.
Yeah.
Go ahead, subscribe. You'll probably enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And all you people who've been around for a while, go ahead and thumbs up, because, you know, the algorithm, YouTube wants you to do that stuff. If you want to get an RNA Music t-shirt, you can get one from our Teespring store down in the description. If you want to support small business in Texas, get you a t-shirt or swaggity swag or leggings for your lady or for you.
Something like that.
Whatever.
I still haven't gotten any. I need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
I should get you some.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Uh-huh.
First question. Jeffrey Egan, hashtag Basawaza. Since you're talking about basses, I have a question. What is the difference between a jazz and a P bass? Is there a tonal difference?
Jazz hands.
Is it about the shape, playability? Curious minds want to know. Okay, last week we were talking about bass guitars, which is a very hot topic amongst guitar players.
Yeah.
Bass guitars. We had a little cameo from the Bitter Bass Man.
Yeah,
and
I was surprised we didn't have any questions about that.
I know.
That's surprising.
And his girlfriend. His girlfriend. All right, so a typical question, you know, the P bass or precision bass from Fender and the Fender Jazz bass, probably the two most popular basses ever in the world. And not being a Fender guy, not that there's nothing wrong with them.
Right.
Fenders are fine.
Right.
But, you know, I had to go do some research, and so I'm going to read from some of my notes.
Okay.
I'm going to read some notes.
Yes.
The jazz bass is actually second. I think the precision bass was first. Came out first, like in 50 something or another, and in 1960 something or another is when the jazz bass came out. The jazz has a little bit slimmer neck, so the neck on the jazz bass is not as thick and beefy.
Okay.
So some people find it easier to play, and if you have moderate to smaller hands, the jazz bass is probably more comfortable. It's probably the main thing. The bodies are slightly different.
Okay.
I mean, they look almost the same, but there is a slight difference in the body shape. But probably the biggest thing really is in the thickness of the neck, and then also the pickup configuration. So definitely have very different pickups. So the jazz bass has two single coil pickups that are kind of spaced further apart.
Right.
Basically like a bridge and a neck pickup you would find on a guitar. So it can be kind of bright and, you know, spanky.
Airy.
On one, and then you can go to the neck pickup and it's a lot warmer sounding.
A little more different.
Yeah, and so where the P bass is really just has kind of a pickup configuration. One choice really. So you get more options in sound with the jazz bass. Right. So it seems to be the biggest difference that I noticed was pickup configuration and neck profile are the biggest differences. So they're both super popular. It's not like one's better than the other necessarily, but it seems like to me, if I were going to buy one for myself, I would probably get a jazz bass. It sounds a lot more I would appreciate the more options you have with it, which makes sense because it came out second.
Yeah.
The P bass came out first, and I got some feedback probably from some bass players at the time. They're like, you know, it'd be nice if we could have this, you know.
Yeah.
So that's basically, I mean, the two differences that seem like they make the most sense to me is the pickup choices, which affects the sound, and then the neck profile. So now you can go check out, I watched a couple of videos. Scott's Bass Lessons is a great YouTube channel. It's like a pretty huge YouTube channel for bass lessons. I've actually looked at some of his stuff before, learning some bass things. But he has a great video, and of course is playing both of them and gives you sound options. But there is some differences. Jeffrey, Paul likes Schecter basses, so that's, I don't know.
That's all that matters.
Thanks for the question, man. Next question. Just Fun Guitar. Hashtag KTMA. Hashtag Bassawaza. Just Fun Guitars in England. Another great show from my favorite Texans.
Thank you.
That's pretty good.
I
Out of like
know.
27 million Texans, we are the two favorite. I mean, more than Stevie Ray Vaughan. More than Janis Joplin. More than George Bush.
You know,
more than, you know,
a lot of people.
Matthew McConaughey.
Sandra Bullock.
More than Sandra Bullock.
What is her name? Clarkson. What's her name?
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson.
Miranda Lambert.
Pentatonics. Yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah. That's a lot of us.
Bowling for Soup.
There's a lot of Texans.
Yeah, we're his favorites. That's pretty rad.
That is,
I don't take it lightly. He says, what is the original native Texas language or Texan language?
I love these questions you come up with.
I
so
do.
Interesting.
I do like Just Fun Guitars
us on
questions.
Our toes.
He does. Well, the original native Texan language. Well, it's probably a Native American language, I would say.
Would assume.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be. Yeah. I knew we had, you know.
Because I don't know what part of Texas was more Native American versus through the Spaniard, you know, Mexican.
Well, Native Americans were here first.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people didn't come this far inward to know exactly who was here, when, and where. Yeah. A lot of what the history we have of Native American are in the Plains area, but there's mostly on the East Coast because that's where the palefaces. Can't even say that.
Frickin' palefaces.
You know, first encountered them. So, you know, I wonder before, you know, if there was a tribal war, if there was like, you know, like Mexico came up and conquered it and got rid of all the natives that were here.
Yeah.
They just were able to kind of coexist because we don't have that kind of history.
We don't talk about it a lot in Texas history.
If we did, we got like a paragraph.
We glossed over it in history class.
And it was just like Santa Ana bad, Sam Houston good, you know, like
Stephen F. Austin,
Davy Crockett, the end. America, Texas.
Davy Crockett.
God bless.
You all can go to hell. I'm going to Texas.
You know, remember the Alamo and blah-de-da. And that's it. So
we want to keep slaves.
It would be interesting. Yeah. Juneteenth, now we have because of Texas and... but yeah, I don't.
Well, I knew there were like Cherokees and Apache.
Yeah,
there were a few
because you
particular...
know they were like giant tribes. They weren't just like just like 100 people. They were like hundreds of thousands of people.
Well, there was. I've got a list. The Alabama Coushatta tribe, which is two different tribes that sort of merged into one tribe, and people kind of think of them as one tribe. Mm-hmm. Of course, the Anadarko, not from the TV show about the. What's her name? Mm-hmm. Apache, of course. Arapaho, Biloxi, Caddo, Cherokee, and Cheyenne.
Or Caddo.
Caddo.
I mean,
Caddo Mills.
Yeah, we call it Caddo Mills. We have a place called
Caddo Mills.
Caddo Mills.
Caddo Mills. So I would.
And we have Cherokee County.
Yeah.
We have Cheyenne County.
Yeah, which makes sense. So a lot of several Native American tribes here before the
indigenous
Yeah.
people.
And then, of course, the Spaniards, you know, took over Mexico, basically. Then Mexico kind of took...
And had natives. They had natives there, too.
But probably the first widespread language was Spanish. Mm-hmm. And I was reading something earlier.
I would
That
say so.
Spanish has been spoken in Texas longer than English.
I believe it.
So English is not really the native, certainly not the native language of Texas. If anything, Spanish is more of a Texas language.
Which I'm learning right now.
Are you?
Yes, on Duolingo.
Duolingo.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
No.
Hashtag not
But
sponsored.
would like to be. That would be awesome.
I took Spanish in high school.
I did too.
How many years?
Just one.
I just took one as well.
Senora Bailey, I apologize.
Senora Bailey. Senora.
And Senora Bailey.
Well, first of all, my Spanish teacher was an old white lady.
Angela.
My name was Rolando. We all had Spanish names in Spanish class, and it was Rolando. I'm like, aquí.
And since my name has like a Spanish like
G. Angela.
Angela. Mm-hmm.
I forgot what Paul's was. I don't know if he has
Raul.
Raul. Paul kind of looks like a Raul.
I want to call him that from now on.
I would rather be Raul.
Listen,
than
Raul.
Rolando. Rolando.
I like the name
Rolando.
Rolando.
I was like Roland. Oh, Roland's a cool name though, actually.
It is.
Because in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, the main character was Roland. Rolando.
I like that name. It's very strong. It's very masculine.
It is. Roland.
Yes.
Rolando. I made a C.
Roland's mean business.
I made a C in Spanish, so I kind of figured, you know what? I barely passed Spanish 1, so I probably
B+.
ought not take Spanish 2. But
Mostly because I already knew quite a bit of the beginning stuff before I went in because Mom taught me. My mom is fluent.
my high
Somewhat
school Spanish
fluent.
teacher was an old white lady who didn't really speak Spanish.
Oh no,
Like, she
Senora
wasn't-
Bailey is fluent.
Yeah, and so like she was teaching us textbook Spanish, and it was like, you don't really know.
No, Senora Bailey she still is serious about it. Like she's really good.
Because I made straight A's in English.
Right. Well, she taught the ESL.
I can sprechen the English.
Yeah, the kids who were learning English
Real
as
good.
their second language.
Real gooder.
We're more gooder than you.
I'm more gooder at English than I am the Spanishness.
Yes.
Espanol.
Espanol. I love Spanish. I love it.
Yeah, it's actually pretty. I need to go back.
Beautiful language.
I wanted to go back and brush up on it because it makes absolute sense if you live in Texas to
Yes.
learn Spanish.
I'm learning Spanish and I'm learning French because a couple of the countries.
You want to go to Canada?
Through Bethany's kids in Africa, their base language is French.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they were like, if you know French, then
If you can speak French,
you'll be able to understand their base language. A lot of their base languages, like in Uganda and places
Nice.
like that, Sierra Leone. Isn't that neat?
It is neat.
But what's even crazier is that even though I was raised in a home that spoke some kind of Spanish, because she wanted us to learn Spanish. My mom is whiter
She
than
is not.
white. She's
Latina.
white. She is not Latina.
She's from she's like Ohio white.
Yes, she's
Yankee white.
Yes, she's Robert Baker White.
Yeah, she's Robert Baker white.
And so
Me and Robert are cousins. Actually, Angela and Robert are
I
cousins.
wouldn't be surprised. So I would learn Spanish, and of course I learned Spanish from Sesame Street because Sesame Street rocked when it came to Spanish.
No,
And I mean,
does.
forget
Yes.
Dora. Sesame Street was where it was at.
Right.
But now that I'm doing Duolingo, actually the French, I'm picking up on French faster.
Not sponsored. You know who's French? David Walliman.
That's right.
He is
I
like
find that
literally.
I'm actually struggling with the Spanish, which is so crazy because
Literally from France.
I made a B+ in Spanish 1 25 years ago.
When I see funny memes that are like in French and it says this means this in French, and in English we say I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, I'll send it to David. I'm like, David, is that
this
really what this
what it
means?
means?
Does that mean really right? Because sometimes people
We're
are
only on the
stupid.
second question, by the way.
And he's like, yeah, that's right. That's accurate. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
David's my,
Yeah. So
French go-to.
Duolingo has Klingon. You learn Klingon. It's one of the.
Do they have
No,
Hutties?
they don't.
I'd rather learn that than Klingon. But that's just me. Because Star Wars, at one point in time, was superior to Star Trek. Anyways.
And I think they have Elvish. You can like Tolkien Elvish.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like his like
That's super nerdy.
I know. Talk
That's-
about it.
that's-
I know 4 languages. Oh
that's-
really? What languages do you know? Spanish, awesome. French. Great.
Magnificent.
Klingon. What?
Say what now?
Elvish. Well, it's nice meeting you.
Klingon. See, Klingon is for basic nerds.
Yes.
Like basic white girls learn Klingon.
Yeah.
Intellectual nerds
Learn Elvish.
Learn
Elven. Yeah.
Not Elvis.
Oh.
Mama. Thanks for the question, Just Fun Guitar.
Oh, God.
It was some Native American tribe, and then it was Spanish.
See how you rolled it?
And
See,
then
you always
it was-
roll our conversations into some weird...
And then it was English.
Yeah.
But Spanish is still one of the main languages.
Yeah,
all right,
which is
we
very
got to move on
important.
because we don't have all the time in the world to.
Okay, we don't.
We do drift quite a bit into other things. All right, next question: Comb cross #basawaza. That sounds like a new dance craze. My question is about church music. Here in the UK, it doesn't have the same exposure as in the US. So what is it? What is an example of the music? Is it competitive, etc.? Anything you or your audience can tell me would be appreciated. Comb cross. Like Just Fun Guitar is from the UK.
Yes, from the
Okay,
motherland.
because we were talking last week about worship, being a worship musician or a church musician. Now, and I can see how that might be confusing for some people because that could cover a lot of grounds. So,
Right.
here in the United States, there's I kind of split it into a couple different genres. Or categories, really. You have now. I grew up in a Baptist church, Southern Baptist church, where it was basically you had a piano and an organ and a choir, and everyone sang hymns out of a hymn book. You know, that was kind of how I grew up, and a lot of probably people in the South here grew up. And so, in that context, a worship musician would be the piano player or the organ player, or
and the choir director.
Choir director in a church like that. So that would be considered, a church musician or worship music, which is singing hymns, which is designed for congregational singing, where people come into a service and they all sing together as an act of worship, right? Methodist, same thing. Methodists are real big on organs.
Yeah.
Pipe organs, and then you have kind of what we were really talking about last week in non-denominational churches, which is not Baptist or Methodist.
Yeah, they stand outside the outside the traditional.
A separate set of Protestants.
Yeah.
That use contemporary instruments, guitars, bass, drums, piano, keyboards as well,
and a few vocalists
and a couple of singers. So there's kind of that, which has been around for a long time, honestly. And some like Assemblies of God churches have been doing that.
Since the 70s.
Have been doing that for even longer than that.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, longer than that, since the
50s.
40s and 50s when they had tent revivals and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that didn't really catch on to bigger, more churches until 80s, 90s, 2000s. So you have, it's kind of the same thing. You have a list of songs, and it's designed around the congregation, the people who are attending the church service, for them kind of to sing along with, just like with the piano and the organs and the hymns. It's the same thing, but a little bit more modernized music. And then you have what I call like contemporary Christian music, which is more strictly like entertainment.
Yes.
It's like songs for the radio that you just listen to because you like it. And it's not designed to be used in a religious service of some kind. It's
not
strictly...
necessarily. Well, although a lot of churches do utilize very popular Christian pop.
They call it CCM, contemporary Christian music.
Songs in their service because they hear it and the words are good, so they just kind of adapt it into and try to make it fit. So sometimes you will go into American churches, especially. I can only speak for American, not for them, but from my experience.
That's fine.
For
I think you'd be the best spokesperson.
I've been in many denominational churches, and so it's not that I'm pigeonholed in one little denomination. That's all I see. But it's a lot of churches will take, because it's popular, because like I said, it has good lyrics or whatever, they'll try to adapt it into their congregational worship, and it turns honestly, it turns it more into a show.
Yeah, there is a little bit of bleed over.
Showcase.
Yeah, there's a little bit of bleed over from the CCM or radio entertainment Christian music, which is, it's like, your favorite band, but just a Christian version of it with whatever.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of bleed over between that and what we would call worship musicians, which is a different, kind of stylistically a little bit different.
Yeah. Because with worship musicians, you will most of the time, depending on, will repeat the chords are simpler, they're more repetitive. The
melodies are simpler.
Oh yes, the melodies are simpler. They'll liken to the flow of old hymns, where hymns were written so everybody can see, even the illiterate can sing and catch on with the pattern. That's why every single verse was the same music but different words. So they can memorize it easy and it would be easy to follow along with. So a lot of contemporary, well, not contemporary, I would say like moderate line Christian music will have that same kind of feel. Worship music and musicians will understand that kind of feel. Where contemporary Christian, you'll have
it's telling a story.
Yes, you'll have a band that's like U2, or you'll have a singer that, like, it seems like in the contemporary Christian artist world, there's always someone that is a mirror Christian, where they mention God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, heaven, angels, seeing their family again one day, version of someone in the secular arena. So where you have like a Nickelback over here, you're going to have, For King and Country over here. I'm just saying. I know For King and Country.
What's the song? We did a song the other day at church.
They're actually British too. So
I can't think of it. Oh, what's that? We did a song so I play at a church, obviously, and we do worship songs, but they're really more of a lot of CCM songs. That's what our leader selects to sing, because that's what she likes to listen to. Mm-hmm. There was one song, I can't remember. I was like, man, you think she listens to Adele very much? Because like the whole song, like the chord structure and changes and the melody is like, yeah, this girl likes Adele. What was it? I've been finding something in my
Lauren Daigle.
Lauren
Daigle. You have Adele over here, and then you have Lauren Daigle over here. There's always going to be a Christian counterpart to give Christians a Jesus-based person that they can listen to, that they were used to listening to out here in the clubs and stuff like that. And so they can have somebody, like, they parallel them. I promise you can find somebody that mirrors a Christian artist over in the world, or vice versa. And there has been here lately, which I've thought was very interesting. A lot of secular people are starting to flip, because
I forgot a
Christian
genre.
artists are starting to gain momentum, especially in the worship sect. So there are some secular people that are trying to cross over a lot more than they used to. I think is really interesting.
I left out a genre.
Oh, what is
which
it?
is black gospel.
Oh yeah, then you got gospel.
That's the whole. Now
that's a whole other pocket.
There's Southern gospel, which is old white people gospel, and then there's black gospel churches.
Soul gospel.
Soul, which is like legit.
Yes, that's too legit.
Big old choirs, and man, you talk about some sick.
And that's one thing
bass
about
players and drummers.
Black church gospel is that it almost hasn't been touched over time. Mm-hmm. Like, it has stayed true to itself, like, since the beginning.
But it's like a whole, like, another nugget of that.
Yeah, it's like its own little branch out here by itself. But everybody is influenced by it and tries to touch it. But no one has ever changed it. It stayed this really pure nugget of goodness.
Oh, man.
Amazing goodness. Thank you, Jesus. That no one's ever ruined it. I'm sure there's people that's come through that's tried to, but it hasn't. It stayed the same.
You talk about some crazy good musicians.
But is it competitive? Yeah, it's hard to get into Christian music successfully.
It's super competitive.
It's very, very competitive. A lot of churches try to be the next big Hillsong or Elevation Church or Bethel, or these are churches whose their worship team has blown up to be these giant music writing machines that have influenced the CCM, the contemporary Christian community, and the secular community, because you have Lauren Daigle, who wrote a song that everybody wants to sing. You have certain people that everybody wants to sing. I Can Only Imagine became a movie, but you have this group of worshipers that have turned into this just giant. I mean, you hear Oceans on Good Morning America from Hillsong. So
they become their own.
They've become church worship bands have become a profession where you have
Delirious, which is from the UK.
Yeah,
they had a big.
It's a pretty crazy thing. It's an intense little beast of its own self.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say it's extremely competitive. Yeah.
And
I try to stay out of that.
Musicians are in no way competitive with each other at all. Musicians. Or selfish. Or arrogant.
Or prideful. Yeah, we try to stay away from it. I hope that answered your question. All right.
Great
that
question,
was the
Colm.
third
Thank
question.
You. All right, we gotta. All right. I keep saying we're gonna make this fast, but we never do.
We never do. Yeah.
CJW with the next question. Are you referring to my friend Pete from Southwest Rod and Custom? We talked last week about Angela's dream car is a '78 Camaro in black and gold. It's got to be black and gold, original paint. She doesn't want a blue one that we repainted black and gold. And I said my friend Pete could do it. I'm not talking about your Pete. I'm talking about my Pete. My friend Pete works at Torqued Designs in Tyler, Texas, where they take these old cars and rebuild them, and they're
amazing.
They take them to those crazy shows where I sold a car for $500,000. I'm like, you bought a 1967 Barracuda for $187,000? What? I mean, it's crazy stuff. So Pete, my friend Pete, who if you follow us on Instagram, you should follow R&M Music on Instagram. If you do, you'll see Pete. Because I'll post, here I am at church band practice. Here's me and Pete. Pete rebuilds these super custom, amazing hot rod cars.
And he's our barber.
And he's also a barber named Pete. He's getting ready. He's been doing the hot rod car thing for a long time. And I think he's getting ready to transition into something new. So he's actually went to school to become a barber. So now he's barbering. He's still building hot rods a couple days a week. And now he's cutting hair a couple days a week. He's also a great musician. He was actually in a band. What was the name of the band? Dang it. He's going to laugh at me. But it was some band that's really big. Like really big. They're from Dallas. And the singer or the main guy basically went to California and left everybody back. But took all the songs and recorded an album or something crazy. I can't remember. He doesn't like to talk about it.
Okay.
Because music is
fickle.
Cutthroat.
It's
super competitive.
Fickle.
But Pete's great. Our Pete is great.
I'm sure yours is too.
Yeah, I mean, I only know a couple of Pete's that are turd buckets. But it's not.
And ours is aren't.
Not
ours.
ours.
Is not. He's a great guy.
But we know one who is.
Siri.
We didn't even say anything close to Hey Siri. Crazy. So they're listening all the time. Thanks for the question, CJW. Next question, Terry Starks. Hashtag Bazawaza, hashtag KTMA. Y'all have a great, safe Thanksgiving. Baby and I have had to stay hunkered down due to the sweet and sour sniffles. He's got the super cold. So I don't know if they have it or they've just been hunkered down because of it. Probably to stay away from things. So how are things with y'all, Canton? Does anyone you know have it? How's it affecting First Monday? Thanks again for all you do. Actually, we do know some people who have had the super cold. Several people, actually.
Yeah. There's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
As far as First Monday, what? I mean, she works down there at First Monday.
It's affected it somewhat, but not as much as I think people thought it was going to affect it. I think that they thought it was going to shut down almost completely, and no.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people who are like,
and there's
I want to go outside.
a lot of people everywhere. It's like we've said before when this all started, Texans don't like to listen to.
They don't want to be told what to do.
We don't want to be told what to do, and I'm one of them. I'm not going to say them are. I am one.
I are them.
I are that. But
you can't tell me what to do. I'm free.
You sure can't. But I have not, honestly. We had a couple months there that were touch and go only because the state
There were a few months where it was
mandating.
shut down.
Yes,
At the very beginning,
They
March.
did. But it was the slower months, which didn't make any sense. And they opened it up for the biggest month, which is November. And we're again open for December. So, which doesn't make any sense because this is the traditional season for not feeling well. So
Cold and flu season.
So for them to not, it doesn't make any sense. But we're doing great. All's great. Capitalism at its finest.
Yeah.
Go America. There you go. I don't know.
Go Texas.
Go Texas. Go Canton. I don't know.
America.
But yes, there have been people that have had it
America.
and have recovered, and
Yeah, we have some
haven't had
friends that
any
we
fatalities
personally
that
know.
we know of.
We have one friend who it got real bad, and he could have died,
Yeah.
but thankfully he didn't.
Yes.
Go to the ER. He was close to having to get intubated, and he made enough progress
Ventilated.
overnight that they didn't have to vent him. And so
Yeah.
he's the one of our multiple friends and acquaintances that we know that have had it. He was the worst. But thankfully he, pulled through. And then we have another friend who's like, I've been sicker. It was like, he's like a mild cold. I mean, he stayed in his house for 2 weeks. He couldn't leave, had people bringing him food, but he was like,
I mean, I know like 3 people that aren't here in Texas, but that have it right now, that they're struggling with it right now. So, but it's really like a very inconveniencing flu for them, but they're pretty healthy to begin with. So
yeah, that seems to be the trend. Not of everywhere, but
Not everywhere.
of the people we personally know, the ones who are in optimal health to begin with, they're like,
true.
not that bad. So
Which is a blessing, because it could be bad,
it could be.
just like with any sickness.
Yeah. But, when we lived in Tulsa, my boss almost died from double pneumonia.
My mom had, remember?
Yeah. So
They couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. I think that's probably what she had.
they think she had it? Yeah, because we don't really know. We only know what the government tells us. And as we all know, the government is 100% trustworthy at all times and would never lie to us.
Ever.
And no politician in any country would ever lie or manipulate the people of their country.
See, right here, you should have like a really giant thing going. Sarcasm implied. Sarcasm implied.
And I'm being sarcastic. That's Dr. Eric Berg.
Sarcasm over it.
And I'm being
alert.
sarcastic.
Yeah.
Y'all all know that's true. Whatever country you're in, because I'm friends with people in England, I'm friends with people in Australia, I'm friends with people all over, and y'all are all bitching about your own government officials and how stupid they are, and how this and that and the other.
Yeah. Ain't nobody. When you're dealing with people, you're gonna deal with stupid.
I mean, you can talk about how dumb the American government is, but y'all also.
Have this.
I see this all the time.
Dumb
because
people.
Our prime minister's an idiot. What a jerk face. And I'm like,
It
all right,
happens.
great. So it's not just our government that's
It
retarded.
happens.
It's every government. We have to move on. Okay, getting
Yes.
fired up.
I know.
Government.
Over something
Over-
that's not even the question.
Dang it, Terry.
You changed it. You went
Dang
down
it,
a
Fred.
rabbit hole.
I don't know.
I know. You just needed a vent. It's
I
okay.
did. Apparently I did.
Moving on.
Moving on. Thanks, Terry. Hope you're doing well.
Yes.
Next question. LD. Hashtag Basa Basa. Angela, when I was a little boy in the early 80s, my cousin had a Trans Am. It was silver with the Firebird on the hood and all white leather interior. It was clean and fast as hell. LOL. I loved it. Do you both have bikes, and who would win a bicycle race between you guys?
We do both have bikes, and Ryan would win.
Easily.
Easily. Easily. Because he rides every day.
Not because I am superior in any way to Angela
Oh, gosh, no.
at all. Simply because she got her bike last week. Y'all all saw
And they
her.
messed with it.
We fixed it.
No.
Made it better.
No.
Well, you didn't even ride it before then.
Yes, I did. I rode it down the street and back.
Oh, that's right, you did.
And then when I got it back, it was like all uneven.
Finely tuned machine. She's only ridden it twice. And I've ridden mine bicycled like every day for like the last, how many days?
I don't know.
It's been a bunch.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, to answer your question, yes, he would probably win right now.
Right now. Only because I've ridden more and I've got my sea legs. Mm-hmm. Like the first day I was like, whoa, I definitely haven't ridden a bike in 25 years or 35 years. Mm-hmm. And I was like, woo. But then every day I went for a ride. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. I think I'm going to hop off this curb. Mm-hmm. Rad. Right?
Yeah, whatever.
Next question. Country Broadband. Thanks for the shout out, Ryan. Maybe we could show off both our PW pedal boards in that video. I've definitely taken the deep dive when it comes to pedals. All right, that's my buddy Steven. Mm-hmm. Steven from Country Broadband.
No question, just a comment.
Yeah, but I had to throw that in there because Steve almost never comments. But last week we were talking about, somebody asked me about my pedal board for church music.
Yes.
And I shouted out Steve because Steve's got this Strymon extravaganza of pedals, and like he's got the deep dive into the worship pedal boards. Because somebody asked to see mine. I said, well, mine wouldn't be very exciting, but that would be great. I was like, you can see what my pedal board looks like, and you can look at Steven's space shuttle pedal board that you could navigate to the outer edges of our atmosphere with.
Right.
At least that far. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we should do that. When I do a video on my pedal board, I'll try to get with Steven.
Right.
And it'll be like 87 minutes of Steven's pedal board and 3 minutes of Ryan's pedal board. Thanks for watching, Steven. See you soon. His kids take lessons here.
Yeah.
Steve's my buddy. So, all right. Next to final question. Almost final question because I can't space things out. Denny's plant-based journey. Mm-hmm. Hey, Denny. Who recently had a cold but has recovered. Hashtag Ryan's a meanie. Mm-hmm. We talked about that last week. I have been kind of mean lately.
Yeah.
I'm trying to dial it back. You think it's because I'm hungry?
I don't know. You need to cut it down. You really do need
to
slow down.
Ryan has a boo-boo. Hashtag Angela needs a uke.
New uke.
A new uke. Oh gosh. Hashtag Angela needs a new uke. That's true. Mm-hmm. Happy Thanksgiving. Not sure if you guys will put out a video next week, but if so, what is your favorite Thanksgiving food? Hashtag Baza Waza. Thank you, Denny. Mm-hmm. Y'all should go watch Denny's channel, Denny's Plant-Based Journey. Denny is obviously living a plant-based lifestyle for health reasons and has made tremendous progress in his health, which I'm on a little bit of a health kick myself.
Yes.
He had a recipe for oatmeal pancakes that looked really good. I'm like, I'm going to have to try that recipe, Denny.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could make oat flour in your blender. Mm-hmm. Your ninja.
Right.
But anyways. Mm-hmm. Angela, what is your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Oh, that's hard. I don't have a favorite. It's all good.
You sure like that green stuff.
Yeah, it's green stuff.
Green stuff.
Jello salad for most people.
What is green stuff?
Green stuff is...
Because they won't know in England.
Most people know what this is. Almost every white person has it.
I didn't know.
I mean, well, England, y'all don't have Thanksgiving, but you do have fruit salads.
Because they didn't take over
Cool Whip, like Cool Whip, not Ready Whip, not whipped cream. Cool Whip.
How do you make it?
You get Cool Whip. Mm-hmm. You get green Jello, or strawberry Jello, or orange Jello, or cherry Jello, depending on your flavor.
But if it's green,
you get pineapple, drained, crushed pineapple, not just the rings or the cubes. It has to be crushed, like shredded pineapple, and cottage cheese. Yeah.
That's it?
That's it. Some people add marshmallows to it. Some people add walnuts or pecans to it. And you just make it just like with all the stuff. Some people add fruit salad, like the fruit cocktail to it and mix it in because it has like pears and cherries and stuff like that. And they add their Cool Whip, and then they add their Jello because it makes a gelatin. It makes it like congeals it together. And it's just like this really great, cool, refreshing stuff. So I do like that. That's more like a dessert,
Thanksgiving dessert.
But we only have it literally only on Thanksgiving. We never make it like any other time.
never make it any other time. So that's a Thanksgiving food.
So it is a Thanksgiving food. My mom's stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's really good. That's probably it. My mom's stuffing. Because everything else we kind of do sometimes the rest of the year. Mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Nothing. What's my favorite Thanksgiving food?
Mashed potatoes.
And?
Rolls.
Mashed taters, precious.
Yes.
And rolls. Yeah, absolutely.
That's
See,
it.
Denny's plant-based journey. My favorite Thanksgiving food is a plant.
Yes, the worst plant you could possibly.
Potatoes are super healthy.
And my mom's green beans. Not the green bean casserole, which I do love. I love green bean casserole. But my mom's green beans, because she puts like bouillon cubes, beef bouillon, and onion. And it's just like this stewed stuff, which reminds me you have a pot roast cooking at the house.
So what I ate yesterday on Thanksgiving was mashed taters.
Precious.
Mm-hmm. Some rolls.
Uh-huh.
Some ham.
Yeah.
Some turkey. And a little bit of mac and cheese.
And I made the turkey this year, and I did a great job.
You did an amazing job. That ham was really good, though.
Yeah.
I eat the ham.
I don't
love ham, but I eat it. But this time, that ham was freaking good.
Awesome.
For some reason.
We cooked it for a long time.
That had to be it. So I only had 5 different things on my plate. But I also did...
It's like a lot of... in my sensory right here.
I also did 2 5Ks and rode my bike for 5.5 miles.
Yes, we did a lot of exercising yesterday.
We did.
So
it was fine to have all the carbs. Carbageddon.
Mm-hmm.
Carbageddon was had yesterday.
Yes, that's the truth.
What are y'all's favorite Thanksgiving food if you celebrate Thanksgiving like we do in Texas?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know down below. Next and final question. Final question. Rick Mel, have anyone used both the reverb on the amp while also using reverb on a pedal? So he's asking, you ever use an amp with built-in reverb and still put some reverb pedal on top of it? Has anyone done that? Yes. All the time.
I don't know. I just said yes because I assumed it was yes.
Yeah, because why would guitar players do less when they could do more?
Right.
Less is not more.
Being obnoxious is exactly what.
More is more. It's really nice that you said that in the middle of a Yngwie Malmsteen quote. So I really love the irony of that.
Yeah, I had no idea. I don't know what you're talking about.
So I actually did some B-roll today in between students. Just the AMP Reverb. Devilcat has a spring reverb built in. Here's the Boss RV 500. Stacked on top of the Jimmy reverb. With some delay. Bye. Have a good weekend. That stayed in the video.
What?
Bye, Mr. Ryan.
Oh, were you recording?
That's me playing on my Devilcat amp with the built-in reverb, spring reverb, like nice reverb. And then I stacked my poor man's Strymon pedal.
Did you leave Mary in there? Did you leave Mary in there?
In where?
In the video.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did. I was like, who's Mary? What is that? Peter, Paul, and Mary? Yes, I did. While I was doing that, Angela was finishing up a lesson. While I was filming my reverb segment for Ask RNA.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be funny to stick that in there because
Yeah.
I don't normally put a lot of B-roll in the videos.
Yeah, she's a doll.
She is nice. She hardly ever says anything to me. She's like, "Bye, Mr. Ryan."
I love that. It's so cute.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, she was excited that we were at the turkey trot
oh
because
yeah,
they were there.
Yeah.
She was like, "We went back to find you, but you were gone."
Oh
I was like,
man.
"I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We could have had a picture next to the turkey."
Oh yeah. Nice. We were booking it on our 5K. I was about to say 4K.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I do it all the time, every day. I tend to forget that the reverb is on the amp, and I still use the reverb pedal that I have. That's just how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, people do it all the time, I guess.
Yeah.
I do. I asked Chris Mitchell from Devilcat Devilcat amplifiers, and CMG guitars. And he said all the time as well. All the time. So yes, people do that. Now in the video, I didn't really notice a big difference once I stacked the reverb from the pedal with the built-in reverb. But neither one of them was turned up to extreme levels. So, But I hope you enjoyed the B-roll. And our student Mary, who had a cameo at the end. And Angela, who had a cameo at the end. You hardly ever see her, but And that was the final question. Thank you guys so much. Hope y'all had an amazing Thanksgiving. And hope y'all have a great weekend this weekend and stay safe.
Yes, please.
And we will see y'all in the next RNA Music video. Until then, secret hashtag of the day. If you watch this whole video from beginning to end, all 700 minutes of it, that helps us out. The algorithm likes it. They like to see that continuous run time or whatever. But if you did watch the whole thing, you're amazing and a internet legend. And if you did, we have a secret hashtag of the day. We want you to type in as a comment or with your comment or with your question for next time. And the secret hashtag of the day is
Rolando.
Hashtag Rolando. ¿Dónde está Rolando? Rolando es en el baño.
El baño.
El toro.
Escuela.
El toro popo. That's my favorite Spanish.
Don was Rolando come manzanas. Come el manzanas.
What's manzanas?
Apples.
Apples.
Rolando eats apples.
Rolando does not eat apples. Rolando likes potatoes.
There you go.
Precious.
And leche.
And leche. It's leche.
Milk.
Milk. I don't know. It's been a while. Rolando requires enchiladas.
That's the truth.
Y tacos. I really enjoyed the episode of Psych when they went to Mexico. Sopapias. Sopapias. That was great. I love the over-exaggeration of the Spanish accent.
Yes, because they love to push that.
Push it to the limit.
Because people who don't speak Spanish are ridiculous about over-enunciating words.
Enunciación.
Enunciations.
Encarnación.
Encarnación.
Chacho, I need to borrow some sweets.
I need to buy some sweets.
And until next time, keep the music alive.
And don't forget it.
The music needs you.
And you need the music.
Me amor, la música. We need to keep it alive for the next generation. Thank you guys so much. We will see y'all next time. Adios.
I wish we had a theme song, and then it would be like we could sing it in Spanish. That'd be so much fun.
I'm sure we could write one.
We should totally write a theme song. Yeah.
Yo! Tar. Wow.
No. You better edit that out, Buster. I'm mad at you.
What?
You heard me. Edit.